D. Regarding the judgment delivered in Rivers State House of Assembly and Speaker and Government of Rivers State and others, the Supreme Court correctly held that the Federal High Court had jurisdiction over the case. C. Regarding the judgment delivered in APC and Rivers State and Independent Electoral Commission and others, again, we believe that the Supreme Court correctly held that the Federal High Court had jurisdiction. F. In that case, however, the court missed an opportunity to clarify key legal provisions regarding the procedure for local government elections, which the Court of Appeal in the same case extensively dealt with. Also, the court granted all reliefs, that is the Supreme Court, based on affidavit evidence alone, without addressing legal interpretations thoroughly. G. That lawyers must prioritize diligence and truthfulness instead of pursuing frivolous matters in court, in the Supreme Court. The simple answer is no. As far as that case is concerned, the Supreme Court is functions official. They have done their bit, that's one stays. What we call gap was because they made comments on defection, and we're not too sure whether they actually considered any appeal or cross-appeal on the defection. But their attitude was that because of previous decisions which they have seen, that is High Court of Rivers State and Court of Appeal relating to defection, they know that as of the time of writing, they cannot say that 27 members are not members of the Assembly. So other issues may still come out from that case from other litigation, but that is what we call the gap. The gap is that, what did you make that comment? Did you make a final pronouncement on that particular issue or not? Are we together, Godwin? Okay. And then we, of course, my brother here will take the citizens' activities. Someone mentioned corruption. I'd like to hear your first name again. What do we do about corruption? Corruption in all places. It's difficult to prove. We're not there. We'll not be able to say. But if you look at our recommendations, we say that at all times, the justices should abide with their oaths of office, you know? And that is again why citizens are involved, to make sure that at all times you push public officers to behave properly. Then you mentioned about one case of people that are dead. Yes, that's delay. We have consistently addressed the problem of delay in this engagement. For example, at the technical working group of the CLIP Justice Program, we suggested all sorts of ways to avoid the delays and even conflicting judgments. That is, circulation of those judgments on time, so that when you read a judgment, you will not, it wouldn't have to be in conflict with the one that you are deciding. It's about information and circulation. Although, of course, we went as far as when there are proven almost deliberate conflicting decisions, NJC should intervene. Are we together? Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, or that's something.
Agents principle theory, which citizens in this instance are the principal, and the agents the duty bearers, which is the government. So from the executive, the legislative, they are agents of the citizens. So clearly, the citizens have a right to hold the government accountable. I will pick election for instance. We think that election is over. People are more interested on election, the results, the D-Day, or did you come out to vote or didn't you come out to vote, and the announcement of the result. But that is not the end of the election. We have seen where Supreme Court upturns election. We have seen when Supreme Court upholds election. So that's gavel that the justice hits on the final judgment at the Supreme Court level. That is basically when the final result has been declared. So citizens should be able to understand the process, and that's why we're saying that it should be simple enough and attractive enough for citizens to get involved. And citizens should also be interested and get involved. The decision of whoever becomes the governor, the president, is going to affect them. So when we talk about issues of injustice and poverty, which actually it's basically known to fight, the decisions of these persons is going to affect them. So citizens must get involved. How do they get involved? So citizens getting involved is about knowing the law, what the law says, and the Constitution has gotten processes of citizens engagement, which is from cooperation to confrontation, but non-violence. So including protests, including writing letters, advocacy visits. So all of those are spectrums of engagement of citizens. And the law permits that. But what we keep saying is it must be non-violent, and the states must give room for citizens to be able to exercise this aspect of the Constitution. You talked about we talked about the role of the media, the journalists.
Yeah.
The journalists should be able. We're talking about corruption, so the journalists should be able to go and give us evidence.
Exactly.
Investigative journalism, that is your role. So go out there, get us evidence. We don't have evidence, so we can insinuate for all we care. You can see elements of bias. You can think it. You can say it. But that is all insinuation if you don't have evidence. So that is your role. So go out there, do your investigative journalism, tell us that this judge has his or her child in this and this is how much he has, or this judge has bought a house in Dubai and this is the evidence that the property belongs to the judge. And then we will take that as some of evidence. We can now come back and look at it as a panel, and we will then be able to talk authoritatively about it. But if we don't, we will not be able to deal with that. So citizens, being also journalists being part of this, we all have a role to play in holding the government accountable, including the judiciary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you also speak about how
It does not just end with the recommendation. So we have groups, like Prof said. Within the project, there are citizens group and with media, even some of the judicial workers that are working together to see how this will be implemented. That's one. But on the other hand, we have citizens group. The one that is prominent, that is the biggest one we have, is called Motion. Motion is movement for the transformation of Nigeria. Motion is made up of over 100 organizations with membership of about 30 million as it stands, and it's still expanding. And what we are doing with Motion, or what Motion is doing, is it is looking at such issues and using them to engage as citizens and citizens group. So the Motion is one group that will take up these findings and begin to ask questions. So from time to time, you will see engagements that Motion is helping to coordinate, beyond working with NLC or other labor movements that exist in the country. So Motion is one other group that is emerging, and of course, actually, we're happy to support and work with that process. Thank you.
All right, we can take some more questions if there are any.
No. So we've said that we have other groups, or we are also actually working with. We have other projects that are also going to be taking action, that are in communities, that are working with state governments, working with the federal governments. So all of those projects are going to, we are linking all of these to them. They will be taking various action, including Motion. For us, Motion is the biggest of it, and Motion will then be able to take actions from this. The Motion, in the next couple of days, I'm sure Motion will be inviting you again to take up the issue of the ECOWAS judgment. I'm like, no, if the ECOWAS has given judgment, why is the government not responding to it? So you will see several other actions. I can't preempt what Motion will be. I am not in the leadership of Motion. I sit in the steering committee as well, but I'm not in the leadership. I don't know what they will do. But there might be strict actions. There might be visits. There might be letter writing. So those are actions will definitely come from Motion with regards to ECOWAS. Thank you.